You guys have to excuse me, I don't have my pastor clothes on because it's a little bit hot out here. We were here last year. Thank you, amen, amen. We were out here last year for a prayer gathering and I had my pastor clothes on. And about halfway through, I was praying that the Lord allowed me to stand on my feet and not pass out. So as she said, I'm a pastor, I'm also a historian. And for those of you who probably have concluded by now that I'm a black man as well. And the reason I say that is because when I give you the reasons why I reject critical race theory, I take it as an insult on certain levels, that I've been told that I'm a constant victim in America, and that I can't accomplish things because of the color of my skin, and those type of things. And so today I just want to share a little bit, and just a couple of reasons why I reject critical race theory, and I think that all Americans should as well. You know, critical race theory is a conglomeration of many ideals that we have rejected over the generations. So whether it's German idealism with Immanuel Kant, or conflict theory with Karl Marx, or the Frankfurt School, or critical theory and all those other ideologies that we have rejected, it's just a conglomeration of those things. And so I'm not going to get into those, but I will give you several reasons, and I know you guys had breathed a sigh of relief that I'm not going to go into detail about all of those, but I just want to give you a couple of reasons why I reject critical race theory. CRT is rooted in Marxist theory of class struggle, but in particular a focus on race. It's an anti-God and anti-Christ ideology, and proponents of CRT see racism in every aspect of American public and private life and seek to dismantle American institutions such as the Constitution and the legal system, which they claim to be inherently and irredeemably racist. Proponents of CRT cite slavery, Jim Crow, and other racist bias practices from the past, but then is not now. Everybody say, then is not now. Then is not now. We have come too far as a nation and as individuals to turn back. I want to share a few reasons why we must reject CRT and not teach it to our children. And I believe as a historian, we have to have open and honest conversations about the past, but not to use it as a crutch or use it as a burden, but in order for us to not only acknowledge how far we've come as a nation, but also celebrate our victories. So the first reason, it ignores history from a larger, true historical and international perspective. They ignore the fact that slavery is one of the oldest human institutions that is centuries old. They ignore that the U.S. did not invent slavery, but it inherited it. They ignore the fact that less than 100 years after the formation of the nation legally abolished the practice of slavery. The Judeo-Western culture in which Marxism looks to destroy is the same culture which took the lead in the world to publicly and legally denounce the practice of chattel slavery. They ignore the passing of the Emancipation Proclamation, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments of the Constitution, the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Bill, and the anti-discrimination laws that make it illegal to mistreat people based on race, skin color, ethnicity, and country of origin. They ignore Juneteenth, which is a celebration of the official ending of slavery all over the South. This is the progress that was made. This is a testament to our collective national acknowledgement that no race is less human, less valuable, or less worthy of honor and respect, or that any race is more. True. The great Marcus Garvey stated, "A people without the knowledge of their past history and origin and culture is like a tree without roots." We also know that those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it, and those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. CRT disrespects and marginalizes the resiliency, the character, and the intelligence of our black forefathers. CRT tries to instill victim mentality in the minds of black people and ignores the great contributions that black people have made in the face of oppression, various obstacles, and even hostile opposition at times. To name a few, and you guys may not be aware of this, Dr. Shirley Jackson, a black woman, invented the touch-tone phone and the caller ID. Lewis Lattimore, a black inventor, invented the carbon filament, which makes Thomas Edison's light bulb incapable of lighting. Otis Otis Boykin invented the IBM computer and the pacemaker, an invention that allows millions of people with heart problems to live relatively normal lives. Dr. Charles Drew was a physician, a surgeon, and a medical researcher who worked with a team of Red Cross on groundbreaking discoveries around blood transfusions, and in World War II he played a major role in developing the first large-scale blood banks and blood plasma programs. These are just a few of the many contributions that have been made by people of color to this great nation. There have been times that because of the discriminatory laws of the past, we have at times needed a hand up, but never a hand out. Because of the knowledge of the great contributions of black people, I reject CRT victimhood for blacks, and I also especially take it as an insult anytime someone tells me that being forced to produce a standardized ID in order to vote, that I'm incapable of doing that. I take that as an insult not only to myself, but those great people that have gone before me that have done such great things. CRT looks to divide and to provoke, not to unify and reconcile. CRT promotes the idea that all white people are racist and have been born with special privilege, and all black people are perpetual victims. They ignore, however, that black people in America have progressed greatly. Although we have had a rocky past, the road has been a tough one to travel, and hope has been often deferred, but we have endured and we are resilient. We have looked at some oppression and we have absorbed some hatred and bigotry of the past, yet we as a nation have not wavered nor faltered. We have still moved forward. We have prospered. We have created. We have cried and we have laughed. But as the great Maya Angelou stated, still we rise. We have gone from being property to being counted at 3/5 of a person to electing a black president twice. So this notion that blacks in America in 2021 are still oppressed, that we are not free, that somehow the only way to be successful in America is to practice the same hateful rhetoric, the same type of racist practices, and to look at individuals negatively simply because of their identified race, to me is the epitome of a hypocrisy, and I reject that premise. This is America, the greatest nation on this side of heaven. In MLK's I Have a Dream speech, he stated not only that he was looking for a time when we would be judged by the content of our character and not the color of our skin, but CRT does the exact opposite. He also stated that in a sense we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men and white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Although we have our struggles and our highs and our lows, we have still endured. We now have those rights that were guaranteed in the Bill of Rights. We should look at the past not to relive it or to allow the past to handicap us, but to recognize how far we have come and to celebrate the victory of the American spirit and the vision of our founding fathers. Jeremiah 29:7, and God tells his people, promote the welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord for it because your future depends on its welfare. CRT looks to deconstruct and to destroy America, but I take issue with that because I am America. My ancestors have fought in every war that this nation has been in since its inception, including the Revolutionary War. We have fought for the freedom in this country, even at times when those freedoms escaped us, but we are fully invested in this nation. Its success now becomes our success. Its failures become our failures. I do not wish for the failure or destruction of America any more than I would wish for the pilot of the plane that I'm flying on to crash. We have come too far to turn back now. That is why I reject CRT, and I believe that all Americans should do the same. I'm not asking for God to damn America. I'm asking for God to bless America. So I challenge you today, and I have a charge for each and every one of you, and I heard so many eloquent speakers before us that said, let your voices be heard. Talk to your school districts. Talk to your elected officials. See, the problem is when we are silent, then those who have a contrary agenda to the one that helps make America a great nation, when we are silent, those are the ones whose arguments prevail. And we know that there's a lot of censorship. They're trying to censor you on social media in different places, but they can't censor you right here at the Capitol of the state. They can't censor you in school board meetings. They can't censor you when you go to public political rallies and things like this. They can't censor you, so let your voices be heard. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your families, so we can speak truth to power. Let your voices be heard. Tell the school boards and administrators to say no to CRT, critical race theory, and any doctrine or ideology that pits one race against another, because it's wrong, it's ungodly, and ultimately it is un-American. God bless you all. Thank you.